Well, slight delay. I was trying to get some things set up tonight that won't actually be happening, sadly. But in either case, it's still good to be here, good to be back in all the motley. And we're back to this. We had a nice little break. And, now we have to deal with this. But how are you doing, Super Saiyan Pumpkin? Has it been a while since I've seen you? I feel like I just saw you the other day. But in either case, I hope you're doing well. We are gonna go back at it. I want to say we had just recovered, but it's a race you're going to have to work very hard to annoy me. Pumpkin, I'm glad to hear you're doing well. I also am doing fairly well, although we'll soon change that. You know, if I'd been being very clever, would have put Ruin Has Come to Our Hive for this one. I gotta work. I have a couple things in the works. I'm hoping they will be here for next week. Because don't know what I'm doing with them. Thank you, Pumpkin. I may be going to refactor those. I don't know for sure yet, but I'm probably going to be doing that in the future. But thank you. I'm actually sitting up straight. The muscles are relaxed and it heals.
My obsession caused this great foulness, and it is shameful that I must rely upon you to set it right.
Oh, wait, what? The Shrieker stolen 8 of our trinkets. What? Holy crap, it did. That's a max level thing. I actually don't shrimp too much. Only when I start getting really excited, I'll start like leaning forward. But yes, how are you doing tonight, Aries? It's good to see you around. I have no idea what I was about. I don't. Sleepy is a pretty good description. I'm under new medication that has also made me a little sleepy. So I guess here's my question. I didn't mean for it to say Darkest Dungeon 2. Just the first one. I don't have the second one. Would people like to see me do something new and exciting, or am I just going to try and make more money to start off with? I'm actually fairly well. I'm the last vestiges of my infections are draining away, and I'm pretty excited to be here and doing. That's fine. I do. Basura. Basura. Stop that right now. You'll get scholars back. It's, well, I don't think you need to worry too much. I can kind of explain it. I've been playing it for a little while. Thanks to streaming stuff. I'll do my best to explain it to everyone. It's, if you know Dungeons and Dragons, it's kind of like sideways Dungeons and Dragons with a horror element. I guess that's a pretty good way to explain it. We have to hire people, make a group of 4 adventurers, and go out there and watch as they flail around and hopelessly, basically, make everything worse. You're a Tippler. And a lot of it is about their maladies. And trying not to let our adventurers succumb to the weight of mental illness. Let me see. We could go to the courtyard. How's our supply of blood looking? You more or less goes from YouTube. And Pumpkin, I disagree that you're trash. You are the best pumpkin. The best cyan pumpkin I could ever think of. How's the blood supply looking? 8. Alright, that's kind of low. Let's try and get more vampires properly leveled up. And then we'll try and maybe take on the courtyard. Okay. That'll heal Inspiring cry. Much of your abilities depend on where you're located in the party in terms of using them, so like the order that they're displayed in is kind of important. Velix. I'm happy to be Velix. I'd probably spell it with a lowercase da and then immediately a capital V, all as one word, Velix. Room battles, okay. Quick draw charm. Sanguine snuff. See, kill one hag. You know what? Let's go after a boss fight. Start things off with a bang. That's like all my blood. Oh, you're craving, and this is a long mission. Oh, right then, we're gonna have to try and bring back more blood. Still annoyed that vampires eat on top of everything else. Like, I feel like they shouldn't. All right. Velix. Velix. That's how I'd probably say that.
Her knowledge of horticulturalism and its role in various arcane practices impressed me greatly. My licentious impulse gave way to a genuine professional respect, and together we began to plant, harvest, and brew.
See. I disagree with all of this. I need you to know that, Ancestor. I'm not keen on it.
There is method in the wild corruption here. It bears a form both wretched and malevolent.
Alright, let's hope Mr. Vampire Hunter is not about. I do not care for him.
Nature herself, a victim to the spreading corruption, malformed with misintent.
Yeah, I'm actually, now that I have this, I'm probably going to be trying to do something every week to maybe update or improve the high. And in that, if any of my highlights have suggestions or ideas, or things that they would particularly like, please chuck them in the evolution chambers, and I'll see what I can do about them.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood.
The blogger's snake. Yeah, you're noticing one of the little upgrades. One of the upgrades is the emojis now float up the board. So everyone, what? Okay then. Having fun, pumpkin. Tenacious crone? You guys are new, aren't you? Let's start feeling some stress here.
The way is lit, the path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
Good, I'm glad. It's what it should be. I've got something in the works. I will tell you what. It's good to see you. Have fun with that. I don't know what you do, but I'd rather you not do it, Miss Crone. Well then, that's not a good shuffle for me. I would rather you didn't give them stress, actually. There we go. It actually is very fun. It's very tactical. It's very tactical. Like, they have 4 bleed, for instance. They have 4 bleed, and they have 2 and 3 health, so I can leave them alone and work on the giant. It's also, like, if you play this game, I have 2 things to encourage you towards.
Precision and power.
One is maybe play on Radiance. I did not. I played on Darkest mode, which is standard difficulty. And turns out that is hard AF. And the other is bring a lot of patience. You will need it. I know you know,
Slow
Reese.
death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
You've been here with me for how long? It was a bad idea, and yet, did it anyway. That's a thing. I am gonna have to work out some new emojis.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Yeah, I started in blind from the big, pretty much blind, because the DLCs are also, they're meant for people who know what they're doing. I was not one of them. So yeah. That's sweet of you to say, Cole, but I don't recall shouting your name out last night. How are you doing, darling? Well, I mean, that's what they're there for, Pumpkin. Oh, Reese. I never have. I never have. That I absolutely never have. When do I ever know what I'm doing?
A blazing star is born.
Probably never.
A hand's
And
breadth from becoming
this is why you bring
online.
patience, because it's not hard for people to
Monster's
to die.
size has no intrinsic merit, unless inordinate exsanguination be considered a virtue.
Does anyone here have an open trinket slot? They do not. Hold on, Cole. What am I holding on for? Oh, that's a journal. Much as I would like to have the journal, I still just need the resources. Gold, silver. I kinda wanna carry that. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! How long do clips at last? Asking for a friend. Cause I'm really worried about that answer. Can I? That's all I can only take that. No, it's not worth it. I'll do a money run later. Oh dear. Okay. The hag is probably down there. Or rather, she's probably one of those two. Oh no. Um, Reese, when did you ever need a new clip to make fun of me? Alright, let me see if I can keep everyone alive. That's our primary goal. No one dies, hopefully.
Continue the onslaught.
Oh dear.
Them all.
Oh, before I forget, I don't know how many of you were here for last night's stream when I finished off Bastion, but I want to say that on further reflection, not only do I not really think that anyone is ultimately guilty of things, but I feel like everything had to progress the way it did because of who everyone was. I don't hate them. I just wish things could have been otherwise.
As the light gains purchase.
But yeah, if you haven't played Bastion, do give it a try. It is startlingly good.
A death by
You can't. What do you mean you can't send every emote, Pumpkin? And Cole, I guess you can post. I guess you can post them wherever you want. But if you want to share, there's a Memetics Bazaar in the Hive, where I think that would be. I think that would be the most on-brand place to share it. I'll make a note to add that to the Hive when I redo it. In SFW means probably. I never meant to be lewd. Does anyone, like, I know that must seem unbelievable, but it has to be under 500, and every emote went over 500? I don't understand.
Compassion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle.
But yeah, NSFW memes is probably the right place to put it.
Obliterated.
Oh, I see. Like literally every emote. Yeah, that's... You'd probably have to curate them. Or do it as 2 posts. That's obnoxious.
Destroyed.
I see, I get it. Oh no. Well, that is your right, and honestly, I can't blame you for wanting to. I'd want to too if I was you, Cole.
Slowly.
Yeah, I never...
Gently.
I posted a
This
thing
is how
today
life is taken.
asking what I was, and Gorjok did not hesitate to inform me that, as far as he was concerned, I was... Oh, what did he call it? Comfy lewd. It's like, really wasn't my goal. That really wasn't my goal at all. Um, but here we are. I guess you learned certain things about yourself doing this. What's your one more thing, Cole? A newbie, thank you so much for the stretch. Oh dear, hang on. Okay. Aw, I gotta get a little thing for that. The horny police force? What? The horny police? Oh no. Cole, are you about to suggest that you need to bonk me?
Such a terrible assault cannot be left unanswered.
I mean, I've got horns. I count as being horny, right? Yay, horn friends. I like the idea of being horn friends. The newbie. So, good lord, that was a dramatic thing. Any more and you will bonk. I'm gonna have to make a bonk redeem, aren't I? That wasn't my intention.
Blossoms.
But apparently I'm gonna have to make a bonk redeem. I am finally starting to learn how to actually do that kind of thing. I was trying to get some set up for tonight, but I'm going to need a bit longer, I'm afraid.
Decimated.
But we will have them, now that I feel comfortable and stable with the way everything is. Can you actually heal yourself? There we go. You think vampires couldn't demoralize other vampires with their vampire chatter? Turns out they absolutely can, which is weird because they do the same thing when they're having a blood craving. They also tend to be gently uncontrollable. Vampires. They're really obnoxious, and I don't know of a way to actually cure them of vampirism for multiple reasons, not the least of which is
the promise of
she
safety.
know. Well, the nice thing about them is they are immune to diseases, which is a medical trait I hadn't normally associated with vampires, but yeah, I guess it's there.
Eradicated.
Hey, whatever I want. I mean, Cole, it's not like I'm trying to just... It's not like I have this, like, unbridled well of, like, lewdness in me that just, like,
Prodigious size
blows
not
over the
dissuade
right.
sharpened blade.
My mind bind all's the same. I do like the idea that vampires just sound like seagulls. Just go, mine, 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 mine. It's also really hard to do. Oh, so these mosquitoes are what turn people into vampires. But everyone's already a vampire, so it doesn't do anything. Wait, 3.5? Did someone break one of your horns? The newbie, we need to investigate this. If someone's going around breaking horns, that is not okay. I don't know if your horns are, like, old growth, but, like, mine could feel things if you... Well, they kind of hurt. You don't have any, I will actually believe that. I will actually believe that. I wish I didn't need so much in terms of, like, human bones are so easy. Not that I exactly have bones, but that's a different matter. But it's like all they are is basically calcium, right? And a few other things. Like, that's so simple. Let me think. It's a bone is made up of bone cells, which are osteoblasts and osteocytes, if I remember correctly. Yeah, let's nuke them.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Which is... That's just collagen, calcium phosphate, and... What's the other thing in bones? Oh, alright. I'm sorry to hear that, Pumpkin, but still. Oh, Reese, I'm not questioning their durability. I understand that you are finally, starting to appreciate the joys of carbon. Oh no. Well, I mean, at this point, I may as well make it a redeem with how much you're gonna bring that up. Yeah. Can't carry any of that anyway.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
So you're a kleptomaniac. You are. You're gonna have to get that fixed. Oh, good. I had asked. I was wondering. It's good to know that you're doing great. I'm actually really glad to hear that. Hang on. Oh, you are not going to let that go, are you? Well, as long as it brings you joy, right?
Press this advantage. Give them no
Oh
quarter.
no. I'm just... Oh well. Let's see, what can I do here? But, like... Okay, so I don't exactly have bones, right? It's more like a cartilaginous support structure. If that statement makes sense to you. Like, it's... Think like bones, but slightly bendy. I mean, I appreciate bones are very slightly bendy, but mine are a bit bendier than yours. But that does not mean you can just randomly bend in my body, though. That still hurts. What was I saying? Oh, yes, but the point I was trying to get at is that I have a lot of metals and other stuff in them. So, like, I can't just, like, have calcium phosphate and fat and be fine. A race I would very politely invite you not to try. I don't really want to... I don't really want to explore that, especially since I'm not particularly flexible.
This expedition at least promises success.
Like, I don't want to test just how unflexible I am. Oh, well, Pumpkin, go with all of my love. Take care of yourself out there. Oris, there is very little I would put past you these days. See, I've gotten to know you better.
If only treasure could
Well,
stop
I certainly like you, Oris.
otherworldly corruption.
But I am also somewhat evil. At least according to those who play in my games. I'm not entirely sure how evil she am. But, you know, I feel like as a GM, my job is to be a little bit on the mean side. What heresy is this? How can you not be evil as a GM? Like, there's no narrative but ludonarrative. Like, the key to a story is characters' desire, and characters suffer, and then characters achieve their goals. The solution is therefore maximum torment. Oh good, that did move you up. The issue is... what? I mean... And is there anything more evil than permitting someone to be hoisted by their own petard over and over and over again? See, part of my problem is my players are surprisingly clever. I have to help. I don't think I help them exactly hurt themselves. I just make situations that make them want to hurt themselves. You'll see
Be
someday.
wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall. Huddled together, furtive and vulnerable. Rats in a maze.
I love the narrator here, he's so cheerful. I don't feel like being ambushed particularly. Ah, intriguing. See, I haven't had that happen yet, mostly because where the players are right now, the police, the law enforcement, they're not someone you go to for assistance. They're people you try and steer clear of. let's bolster your strength. How many of your players respect the laws? That's my question. See, I am not currently running a D&D game. My players aren't currently involved in Dungeons and Dragons. Currently, I am running a Shadowrun game, which is proving intriguing. It's the most fantasy of all the cyberpunk games. And it's been proving quite fun. No game this week, sadly, but still. They are currently on the run from everyone and desperately trying not to start any violence in case it precipitates more violence.
Well struck.
I agree, Anubi. I mean, I was just playing Doom the other day, wasn't I? But the thing is, they're trying to avoid it, I think, in the hopes of possibly staving it off as long as possible. See, I make it a policy at my table, because I like a lot of different things, that I won't GM the same setting or system back to back. Which, I don't know if that makes me frustrating to deal with as a GM, but it certainly keeps things interesting. Although I will be honest, I actually don't play D&D. Like, I talk about D&D a lot. I don't actually play D&D. I actually play Pathfinder. I haven't fully acclimated to haven't properly acclimated to 2nd edition yet. Ah, makes sense. You know, I should try that roguelike setting at some point. I had this idea for a Dungeons and Dragons or possibly vampire. Not vampire. Possibly, Finder game that was going to be roguelike in its basis. Oh, there's the boss. Pre-made campaigns can be fun. I've heard a lot of people speak fondly of them. I've never run one. Well, that was kind of you, Ace. How much have they started regretting it yet? Yeah, I've actually never run a pre-made. Even when I played D&D, because I played D&D back in the old 3.5 days for a short time, I never ran a pre-made. I always made my own world. I like the storytelling.
Twisted and maniacal. A slathering testament to the powers of corruption.
She's so big. Like, do you see her? Like, that is a unit of a woman. Like, holy crap. Okay, I can only hit her with backline stuff. Final Fantasy Syndrome. I don't understand what Final Fantasy Syndrome is. Oh, I see. Oh yeah, I guess it's true. Welcome back, Cole. We were just talking about this, the second they're not a boss size. Yeah. I can't imagine that. Like, she's such a unit of a woman, right? Like, compared to these guys? Like, if they were, like, 6 feet-ish tall, like, about, like, 180 centimeters, like 1.8 meters, right? Like, then she's gotta be, like, 2.2, 2.3? It's like, holy crap. Immune. Alright, then.
A dizzying blow to body and brain.
I noticed, Cole, that you went to go get a drink. Is it perhaps because you're feeling thirsty? Also, I literally can't actually damage the bot. That's unfortunate. Brandon, thank you so much for the bits, darling. How are you doing tonight? Yeah, Cole, I'm pressing X to doubt that. I'm pressing X to doubt that so hard. Also, my setup is a problem for this fight. Like, actually, kind of a big problem.
Blurred vision. The end approaches.
Can you please stop putting people into the pot? That's really getting old.
The blood quickens.
Oh, thank goodness.
A momentary abatement.
I may have hacked up with this group. This is, This can be unforgiving sometimes. And I don't think this game's going to forgive me at the moment. Heal? Heal. Okay. One heal. Let me see. I can't actually... Oh, I can hit the bombs. Brandon, it's A-okay. The only thing I ask in recompense for your absence is what book are you listening to? One that would grab your attention that sounds fascinating. And I'm a big audiobook fan. I don't think you're gonna be eaten. If I kill the hag, does that release the person inside?
Leave her corpse to rot, consumed by the spores she spawned. The bigger the beast, the greater the glory.
A new blueprint, that is excellent. Okay. I really need that blueprint, actually. So we actually managed to do it, and no one's died yet. Let me see. Hang on a moment. Cole, you said, and I quote, "I will put the badge down for a minute, say whatever you want, I'ma go get water." What did you need the water for, if not to drink it, Cole? I've got my eyes on you. Could it be because you're thirsty?
Curiosity, interest, and obsession. Mile markers on my road to damnation.
So, depending on what kind of god you mean, I'd say being a god, largely speaking, especially if mythology has anything to say about it, indicates that you're pretty non-competent. Like, gods, to me, seem like they rank lower in competency than, engineers, clergymen, monks, industrial workers, and several forms of dog. Interesting words, Cole. Don't worry, I'll have forgotten about this by tomorrow. I have 2 brain cells and low buffer overflow for memory. Oh, Sanguine Venters is expensive, and I feel like that's kind of what I need here. Either that or the puppet theater. I don't like how big this is. Torchlight is more beneficial. Cole, it sounds like you have at least one follower who takes umbrage with your divinity. Yeah, puppet theater or sanguine venters next. One of those two. Oof, both of them are very expensive though. Meantime, what do I need? Oh, level 2. That's not bad. I'm gonna try and get them higher though. Citrus, darling. There you are. Hello. I did say I've made a few small changes around the place. I was nervous about this mold, but it's actually been, it's actually been fairly good to me. How are you doing? It's great to see you. I'm glad you like it. Oh, so we need, that sounds like an amazing time. I wish I was high on 2 different burgers and a milkshake. Weaponsmithing and armor smithing. Okay. Is the nostalgia for the college? An orange eats burger. Oh, that must be amazing. I wish I had fond memories of a place like that. I actually don't. Like, I wish I did. My time at the academy was fraught with nonsense and disaster. And, I never really got involved with things on that level. I'm glad to hear you did, though. Right. Who's the kleptomaniac? That sounds amazing. I'm glad you got that. Do you get to do more tomorrow? Or is it a one-day thing? Ah, yes. The sanitarium keeper. She concerns me. Goodness, I actually can't blame you for that. Oof, that's far too early in what your local time is to wake up. Like, if I had my druthers, I can't, but if I had my druthers, I'd probably be up somewhere between, oh, I don't know, 14 and 17 every day. Yeah, I wish I could do that. Can't, but I wish I could. Well, I can't stop you, Cole. The last ones have been a bit grim. Is this one also leaning in the 40k weekly direction? Let me see. I think it's time to go after that Baron. Relatively strong bleed. Oh, thank you, Inubi. Let's go kill us a Baron. Oh, that's an adorable little emoji. Let's see. Received damage to bloodsuckers. Move resist. Yes, we'll try that. And don't worry, you are coming along. I will admit, when it comes to sleep, I also do have a tendency to want to sleep for probably 10-ish hours a day. Blame it on different rotational speeds. Citrus, go with love, darling. Get some fantastic rest. And thank you for making sure that I'm sitting upright. I can't wait to see you again. And Ralu. Well as one friend leaves, other join. Great to see you, darling. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is good. Give denial. Eravu, I'm so sorry to hear that. But, you know what? You're among friends here, and you're safely away from them. I'm glad to welcome you here. The wreath, I'll have to look at that later on. Yeah, we'll take double shovels. We only need the 8 torches. It does seem fairly familiar. The thesis statement of the story. So it was not bad. I enjoyed it. Thesis statement was a little overdone, though. But it's a common theme, isn't it? The idea that somehow we are the most dangerous beings. I don't really buy into it, but my own philosophy would take a substantial time to discuss. Punctuation may have been handy, but Aris, you didn't punctuate that statement either, darling. Also, does anyone know a good way to ship ice cream to a bat? Asking for a friend. This level is so ridiculously broad Bogdian. Aris, you still failed to punctuate that one correctly as well. When needed, yes. But I rarely see a period cross his lips. Metaphorically speaking. Okay. So we have to head this direction. I think, or wait. Wait, no, we need to go back here. Irabu, I was suggesting, or preferring, if it was possible, to get you sent some ice cream. Cole, all I will say about that is that if you so desire, you can find the absolute best or the absolute worst in people wherever you look. And I choose to find the absolute best in them. You can choose to find the worst in them if you so desire, and see them that way. But I will never agree to that. Aha. There they are. Oh, mint chocolate chip is excellent. Not using periods does not look too formal. It looks like you're actually using the language. I'm not going to get further into the weeds, philosophically speaking, with you, but suffice to say, I completely disagree. We can have a hash out at some other point, perhaps, but not tonight. Suffice to say, I'm incredibly fond of humanity. I wouldn't be here otherwise. They're my favorite life form in Fate. The nearest 10 light years or so. Going to here. That should hopefully ensure that you go away, because you're a nasty piece of work.
Monstrous size has no intrinsic merit, unless inordinate exsanguination be considered a virtue.
Well, isn't it that way with everyone, Ares? I do like how you feel that a period is something more serious. I can't explain it, but I find that adorable. I wish I knew why. Also, really like the design of this thing, even though it frightens me some. Well, goodness. Alright, I think we're done here. Let's,
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
I think this is more my lineup. Oh, can I, no effect. What? I could make a camp here. Apostrophes are non-existent. Wait, what? Oh, I see. As for humanity. That's probably a relatively sound principle. Why don't you like using apostrophes? I guess I replace you. Well, it seems that everything in here takes shovels. Maybe I should have gotten rid of the holy water. I got mosquitoes in the air.
It would seem his taste for triviality remains unabated, even now.
Well then. Okay. That's, That's a thing. And, I guess forgetting what you guys are saying. I was trying not to get too into to philosophy and the ideas of, like, humanism, so I really was. But, I'm glad that everyone here feels comfortable expressing their views. Whether I disagree with them or not. Like, I will defend everyone's right to be able to express how they see the world here, as long as they're not using that as a mask for hostilities. Which, and I want to be very clear, I don't feel that Cole ever was. Mostly the reason why I don't really want to get involved in philosophy with what you're saying, Cole, is I'm quite fond of you, and I don't want to. It's something I'm passionate about, and I don't want to break any good faith between us either. What the hell do you about this situation?
The wounds of war can be healed, but never hidden.
Not the conversation. I'm in this boss fight. I don't like any of it. Well, Iralu, I'm glad. You know what I really don't like about him? You know what I really don't like about him? It's the eyes. Those eyes on the What just happened there?
The abyss returns even the boldest gaze.
I like none of that. Truthfully, Cole, so do I. Yeah, that movie's terrifying. Truthfully, Cole, so do I. I just think, in our cases,
Well struck.
we find ourselves on opposing philosophical viewpoints, and while I don't mind having debates, I also don't necessarily think that would be... I don't know that that would make the most pleasant atmosphere or environment. Yeah, I made it to the boss. And it's terrifying the crap out of me. I like it not at all.
Annihilated.
Cole, please. You are welcome to say things. I was just saying, forgive me if I don't directly engage in debate with you over them. I don't mean it as disrespect. No, please, if you have a viewpoint to share, do share it. I don't mean to silence you.
Sedated. Great is the weapon that cuts on
You know,
its
I
own.
would actually not mind that being a thing. I mean, I can't speak for Aris. Aris will debate you. But, Aris, the thing is, I am Hive Queen here. Like, I shouldn't be trying to debate you if that's not what we're doing. My job is to make you feel welcomed and to make sure you have an enjoyable time together. We. I can speak English, I promise.
A singular strike.
That's
Unnerved.
not a crowd pleaser. That is the antithesis of a crowd pleaser.
Compassion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle.
Oh, no, I didn't even mean that, Aris. No, what I was trying to say to Cole was that given that I'm here, okay, I am effectively your host here in the Sapphire Hive, right?
A powerful blow.
Like, while I can respond, I don't feel like it's fair or right if I debate a philosophical viewpoint with someone who we can't have an active debate where we can each publicly sort of share our vantage point and I don't like that either. Where we can each share our vantage point, you know, readily. It also can be, yes. Iravu, that's glorious. Wait, what? How are these locked? Oh, you asshat.
Masterfully executed.
And Maurice, thank you. Maurice, I think you're absolutely right. I think what Cole's pushing me towards, ultimately, is the need to pick a side, which is no bad thing. Cole, that is a chonker of a statement. Give me a moment, alright? I'm also really not liking this restricted. I like this mechanic, but this is also really difficult. You're gonna die.
A death by inches.
Oh, I can't increase the light level. Okay.
A decisive pummeling.
Abs. Death by inches is a great statement. It's also a horrifying one, if you're familiar with the phrase.
The slow death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
I guess the moral of the story is that it's interesting how one action can sometimes change a person's POV completely without knowing. And if they see that sometimes it can't be changed, the darkness sees one way and will... Did you mean fallow or did you mean follow? I'm assuming follow. And will follow that way for as long as they so please. Even me, I guess I saw that darkness is always evil, but I misunderstood, and now I'm like this. Only now realizing the error of my ways. So doesn't put him in the right. That was an excellent hit too, yeah. And Cole, I definitely think some teachers would be proud. I think, interestingly, and this is one of the things, I think one of the things about myself, philosophically speaking, is that if we're using local philosophers, I trend somewhat Kantian, as well as relatively towards some of the more abstract sects of Zen. I will also admit I do tend to lean animist as well, which probably has an effect on the way I see things. I can define those words if people need me to. I think, ultimately, Cole, that... Look, the world is hard. The world is hard, and it is vicious and it is brutal. And I think that we, as life forms, as sapient life forms who can express ourselves, we have to. That darkness that we see and experience has to go somewhere, but I don't think it has to reside in us or has to be a part of us. I also don't think that the brutality of life itself is something that I would consider a moral lapse in us as sapient forms of life. There's lots of life forms that even aren't sapient, that do ridiculous things to each other. Things that I can't talk about because the TOS gods will get absurdly mad at me if I do. Even though we're talking about penguins, I can never mention that. The TOS gods will smite me, and I can never, ever see any of you again. I don't want to be separated from you. Does anyone ever feel like the TOS gods are sometimes like some dark version of like Child Protective Services or something like that? Because I suddenly get that impression. Please define animism. Iravu, your bat brain is not dumb for not knowing what animism is. Animism is, oh dear, okay. So, I am about to mention popular religions, and I would like to clarify up front that I'm using them as exemplars of a category, and that there are no opinions being mentioned here regardless. So, monotheism is generally a system in which, like you have Christianity is sort of monotheistic because you have the singular God, but there's three parts to God. And then, like, Judaism and Islam, again, predominantly monotheism. You have a single God figure, and they are the only God. You have polytheism, in which you have an entire pantheon of gods. You have, I think it's called strong and weak polytheism, and strong polytheism is where you have a central god who is like the leader god, very popular on your world from what I understand. And then you have like weak polytheism in which you have a bunch of gods, but there isn't really oh, were you even in that egg? You are a tall boy. How did you scrunch down in there? Weak polytheism is where you have like all gods, but they're all kind of like at the same level of operation. Like there's no like big ruler. Some of them might declare themselves ruler, but they all have basically the same level of power. Like there's no Goku, right? If you think of like in Dragon Ball Z terms, it's Dragon Ball Z, right? They say Z, and it's not like Dragon Ball Z. Should be Dragon Ball Z. Anyway, like in Dragon Ball terms, there's no like Saiyans. Everyone's just like a human or whatever. Everyone's just a Yamcha.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Don't ask me how I know this. We'll just move on. Animism is sort of tangentially connected to. It's a form of belief system in which the idea is that different objects or places or people or things are sort of have their own, I guess, divine embodiment.
Decimated.
I guess is the best way to put it. Like if you, but they aren't necessarily like. Probably the most well-known animist tradition these days is Shintoism. But it's very common. It's also very popular in a lot of what is, for some reason, called, and I quote this, traditional beliefs, which I'm confused as to why they're called that. Because, like, traditional beliefs are what a population believes, like, all religion that has ever existed are someone's traditional beliefs. So, I don't know, like, that's... Whatever, terms are confusing. But, I trend towards the animistic. I think I think engineers and programmers be tend to trend towards animism regardless. Like many of them name their computers, many of them have special rituals that they undertake or go through to try and ensure that things compile, especially back in the old days of programming. Look, could you stop that? Could you stop that, Baron? Thank you, Baron. I really need someone to be abusive.
Fury, more destructive than 100 cannons.
Reese give them no ideas. He doesn't. You know what's weird? Is that is the least terrifying of all of his moves. Can I... somehow... Yeah, I will take him being abusive to the enemy. I don't believe in being abusive to people, but this guy's asking for it. Come on now.
The horror.
Can I just... Thank you. Just let me have the flashlight up front, okay? I know you don't want to die here. Please don't... Oh, come on. Don't...
The birthplace of
Okay, just... I hope it doesn't mean you won't let yourself be healed. Because I kind of need you to be.
Perched at the very precipice of oblivion.
That's a lot of bleed. Reese, go ahead and make your joke. I will say, Cole, if you're still there, that one thing I hope I haven't done, and I never intend to do, is discourage you from exploring things philosophically. If anything, I'm proud that you want to undertake that journey. Philosophy is important. It's not important the way, some... What's a good term for them? It's not important the way some people who obsess over it say it is. But the thing is, for us as sapient life forms, it's how we understand ourselves, our world. There's an achievement for that, which is Le Jus Sont Vitalis. 2 of 3. It will be mine whatever the cost. I wonder if I can make that 3 of 3. Oh, and a blueprint. Well, Aris, that's very good of you. No, we continue adventuring. And you know why we continue adventuring? Because I noticed something. And that's this room back here. Ugh. Don't die, please.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
Where the heck does that go? Well, in either case, the quest is complete, and we are done. Finally, the Baron's down. Finally, we can have some reprieve from these bloody vampires. Well, those are our first level 5s. That was, how many expeditions did it take me to get through there? 7?
The
8?
virulent clouds from the courtyard have abated. The airs of the estate feel narrowly agreeable once again.
It removes the Crimson Curse. We're done. We're done. The curse is over. Thank you, Maurice. Thank you, Robert. Oh, we did it. Ding dong, the curse is dead. A jewel curse, the vampire curse. Xenolar, do not bring that in here. I may actually be able to get a head pat redeemed soon. That's exciting. I crave the idea of head pats. And you have to do something so you don't have the morality debuff anymore. Do I even need to build the Sanguine Ventures? I hope not. Gotta keep an eye on that, though. Oh no. Oh no. It is a matter of if. Well, I can add both. I can add a head pats. I can add a head pats command, and I can add a redeem for it. Yeah, that infestation was, No, it wasn't 50. It was 100. It got really bad in the end. So no more of that, then. In the end, maybe no one can be truly right, but show what they do in a certain scenario, so long as it doesn't show who they are. I agree and disagree, actually, Cole. I agree with this statement. Sort of. I think that it shows exactly who they are, but I think that that fails to actually demonstrate the totality of them as a sapient individual. You know what? I don't know if you were here for when I played Bastion, but I think Bastion was the perfect example of this. I don't think anyone in Bastion, any of the 4 characters, were evil, and yet all of them did things that were horrible, and if you saw them only in that single moment where they did something horrible, you could easily think that they were horrible, or that they were evil. I think you have the right idea, Irvavu. I think I'm gonna go use the little Hive Queen's room. We're gonna be right back. Aris, I'm doing my best, okay? Look, I'll get there one day. Anyway, I'm gonna use a little Hive Queen's room. So I will be right back. We'll have a quick break. And when I return, we're going to... We can't touch that yet. That's too hard. That bird is also, a bit too hard for us right now. So, we're gonna find something else. Yeah, I will see all of you soon. I've had a wonderful time, and I can't wait to keep having a great time. All of you, take care of yourselves. I will see you in just a few minutes. And we are back. Hello again, everyone. Reese, thank you for the look. I hope you get some good rest. Sorry I didn't catch that before I went. Let's see. Oh, that's interesting. Pagan Talisman. Okay, legit. Does anyone know what a pagan actually is? Because I heard like 5 definitions and I'm not sure anymore. Iravu. Listen to me, darling. Times may be less effective. They can still scoop ice cream. You can make this work. I promise you. All else fails, you can get a butter knife. Just not like a cutting knife, you'll hurt yourself. Or, can't you wash a spoon? Is that not a thing you can do? I don't know your utensil situation. Well, take one out of the dishwasher and wash it by hand. Oh, they're actually being washed right now. I see the problem. Look, I need you to why can't I stick both of you in the same team? Like, look, I just want to level you both. You both have low stress, okay? Cookie dough is excellent. Fine. We'll do... nuts to gain balance. I'm going to duct tape 2 flatulence back to back just to send them out together. I just need them to level up, that's all. Nuts here gain balance. Every time I think I'm done adding a mod to this thing, and I'm gonna have to get that mod apparently. We're going to the Warrens. And no one's a vampire anymore. How about that? I like that no one's a vampire anymore.
They breed quickly down there in the dark. But perhaps we can slay them even faster.
No, there's no room bats. Okay then. There's something that Arise said before she went. Still bothering me. I'm not actually evil, am I? Despite how hard I try. I'll never really be evil. I don't have the heart for it, honestly. Oh well. I really want another antiquarian. I'm waiting to do recruiting until I
As
can
the fiend falls,
upgrade the
faint
stagecoach
hope
all the
blossoms.
way. I'm just so tired of trying to level these people up. That mouth is just the worst. Don't like it one bit. I like its little feet though. I bet it'd wiggle them if you scratch its head.
Surgical precision.
Did he just say that about divine healing? Like healing that's based in religious faith, and thus completely eschews all use of surgical implements. Looking back here, Ravu, I'm very perplexed. Ah, no. How do I hurt the back one? I guess that's how.
Dazed, reeling, about to break.
Is it a fun club? Do you have cookies? I really need, like, I actually really need to,
Annihilated.
I need to start, like, bringing some kind of snacks to this. All of you always end up making me hungry. Next time I'm out, anywhere, next time I'm at a place where I can actually order supplies, I'm putting in an order for some sort of ice cream. Warm ice cream sandwiches. Is it wrong that that sounds amazing to me? Like, I don't get make ice cream sandwiches. I get like little balls of the warm cookie dough and like drop them into the ice cream. That's what I want. That would be amazing. With maybe some, what are they called? Maybe some chocolate, well, some like chocolate drops or white chocolate drops, and some whipped cream, and berries. Like, I'd take blueberries in a pinch, but like, raspberries or blackberries would be ideal.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Ooh,
This expedition
some
at least
brownies.
promises success.
we have something going on there. Okay, I need to drop something. We have tons of food. Okay, this is money first. Yeah, money first. Crests are nice, but we need more funds. What would your ideal desserts be? I'm pretty sure mine is going to be like some kind of cake with frosting. Like berries, ice cream, and whipped cream. Maybe with some kind of syrup. I would not object to chocolate syrup. Which is that one gives nothing then.
Such blockages are unsurprising. These tunnels predate even the earliest settlers.
You know what I discovered? Not a huge fan of. Except I can never eat as much sweet things as I feel like I should be able to. Or as I feel like I want to. Like, always, like, a few bites. Like, after, like, 5 or 6 bites, I'm sort of done. And I feel like it's kind of a waste. You know?
To the pit. Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
But
Another
maybe,
one falls.
maybe that's just something in me
These nightmarish
that
creatures
makes you
can
want to
be
eat,
felt.
like,
They can be
you know,
weak.
the entire cake at one go. Are you also kleptomaniac?
A handsome reward.
You're not. What's...
For a task well performed.
You're curious. I mean, I'd rather you hadn't done that, so you had the antiquarian. Once your blockages will risk the shovels. Leyland, darling. I actually think I am tonight. Welcome back here, Baharu. You completely missed my question. How's my favorite mushroom doing? Are you being a good girl? Oh, that was close. With you, why should they ever stop? Oh, but baking, though. What's your baking? I'm a fan of baking.
Their
Myself,
formation is
I'm
broken.
not
Maintain
as good at it
offensive.
as I'd like to be. I do better with roasting than baking. I also
The
really
wounds
don't
of
need to
war
bake.
can be
Like,
but
I-
never hidden.
I don't need that much extra calories in my diet. Like, there's only so much I could pass off as egg white, you know? Cinnamon cookies. That sounds amazing. For a tea time interview. Wow, you can actually make hardtack? Now that's impressive. I...
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Vanillon. While this may be true,
Great is the
I
weapon
don't
that cuts
think
on its own.
that this is going to stop me from wanting to eat Leishroom's cookie. Cinnamon cookies the same thing as snickerdoodles. Because they're very cinnamony. Cinnamon is a difficult word anyway. Ah, cinnamon outer coating, but I guess it's just a sugar cookie on the inside. What happens if I do this? Okay. You pronounce it Simonon? That's amazing.
The light. the promise of safety.
I'm not sure I've had a cinnamon cookie. I wish I could, though. Cinnamon. Okay. Gotcha. Cinnamon. I think the most common way I've heard it said is cinnamon, which is curious. And I believe it's a synonym for cinnamon, at least in this arena.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
I think there are cookies I can make. Last time I baked, I made some. They were peanut butter jelly oatmeal cookies. They were a little odd because I hate your planet, okay? I love your planet, but I hate it. There's so few things on it that I can even begin to eat. Why are oatmeal cookies controversial? Like, what's controversial about an oatmeal cookie?
Is a rarity in the
They're
fever pitch
amazing.
of battle.
But you and I, Leyland, we would get along with cookies. Mothy, when isn't there a time for cinnamon discourse? There's always a cinnamon discourse going on somewhere. Oh, 100% raisins. Absolutely. How are you doing tonight, Mothy? Welcome to the great discussion about cookies. You missed our,
Wounds of war can be healed.
you missed the earlier great
But
discussion
never hidden.
about, moralist philosophy. Oh, they absolutely are. If you've ever had an oatmeal cookie with raisins and cranberries, that is
Be
a...
wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
I'm abducting both of you. I'm abducting both of you, and that is the end of the matter. I want people who are big. Big? I want people who are bakers nearby me. I can speak this language. You absolutely came in at the better part. Zanlar, I know it's accurate, but I would like never to see the phrase crotch-mouth vampire written again. Soups are lovely. I actually do a pretty mean doll myself. The crotch-mouth vampire baron. Dang it.
Without tools of iron, you must rely on flesh and indefatigable purpose.
The crotch-mouth vampire baron. One of the least pleasant bites I've had.
Spark without kindling
They,
is a goal
I don't know their gender. They had a move called a crowd pleaser. It was not. It was not in the slightest. Speaking, I actually had some split pea soup earlier today, in fact, with potatoes. There were going to be carrots in it, but we didn't have carrots. Speaking as a part-time masochist, it was still not a crowd pleaser. There were far too many mouths and teeth for that to be a crowd pleaser. He didn't have a crowd. Although he didn't make them, he kept conjuring eggs. I assume he wasn't laying them. But I don't know with vampires. Well, the VODs are going to be going up in a week's time, so yeah. If you really want to see it, they will be there. I don't recommend it though. Sociocrats? I think the term is socialites. Oh, I did not know that. I never noticed it. But soups are excellent. You know what I miss terribly? Sandwiches.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
There were laughs when he was hit. I was so distracted and so off-put that entire fight.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
The newbie, I appreciate it. And now it's a nice round number. Oh no! I saw...
Carelessness will find no clemency in this place.
Shush, I know what I did wrong. I did not notice there was a laugh whenever I got hit. I mean, I believe you. But I didn't know that. Oh. That is too much wholesomeness in chat right now. It's adorable. I wonder... I don't think there is. Hello, space friend. Hello? Hello? Hello is startlingly hard to say. I always preferred hello myself. I know it's supposed to be Hello. I always preferred hello. Like HA or possibly HU. Hello, space friend.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
Hello. Well, you say hello, and I say goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. I'm sure no one got that. It's a reference to the Beatles. Does anyone here like the Beatles? I'm an intermediate fan of the Beatles. Just, yeah, you know what? Fine, I can't even argue with that. Just, I don't like them because, like, if they were, they're not actually beetles, you know, right? Although they'd be more attractive if they were. But I like some of their things, just, I don't know, it's interesting. I mean,
A death by inches.
agreed, they should have been.
The wounds of war can be healed.
You know, I know very
Never
little
hidden.
of Mr. Starr, except that one time I observed one of his concerts, and he narrates a movie that was one of the first movies I ever got to see when I was in training to become a Veator.
English horrors. Brought low and driven into the mud.
I do like his voice. Like, I understand this is probably a bit of a controversial opinion, but I am a huge fan of the Liverpudlian accent.
Finding the stuff is only the first test.
If,
Now it
Leyland,
must be carried
if you think
home.
less of me for that, I will understand. Well, it's nice to know I won't lose my supply of Gorogs anytime. Good evening, darling. How are you doing tonight? I'm doing well. We had a lot of success tonight, surprisingly. I'm scared to talk about the idea of no one dying, because I feel like that's going to make someone die just by mentioning it. But yeah, no one's died. And the Baron is defeated.
The slow death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
Groartag, you and I both know there's no limit to the number of cuties you're going to see. Be honest. I shouldn't get down.
Executed with impunity.
You know, Groartag included
Remind
you in
yourself
that,
that
Monotheism.
overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
I see no reason you shouldn't, Iravu. As long as it doesn't hurt you, alright? Let me see. And, you know, the thing about cookie dough is I like it, but at the same time, it turns my stomach. And also I can't eat it because it does horrible things to my body. I wish I could eat it.
As the
I
light
would
gains
bet.
purchase,
I would eat
spirits
the
are
hell out of
lifted
some cookie dough.
and purpose is made clear.
Iravu. secret room.
Wealth beyond measure,
Well then,
awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
no. Need more room.
The way is lit, the path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
I believe in you, Iralu. I'm pretty sure you could squeak if you tried. Did you need to read that and get stressed out? Did you have to? And I guess you did. You did it, so... I bet I could teach you to cheer up. Although I will admit my vocal cords are probably not set up quite like yours. Wait, no, wait. No, that wasn't what I wanted to do. More curios. A lot more traps. Books. Actually a huge fan of books. I don't own many, but ones I do have I treasure. I think my favorite of them, or at least the one that there's 5 of them that I keep going back to reread. Many of the others are references to your culture, because I had to learn about it. The 5 I keep going back to are volumes 1 through 4 of, why did you have to do that? Volumes 1 through 4 of Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, and the Blade of Heaven.
Speed. Their confidence is shaken.
I can recommend them both to anyone who wants to read them. Although, they might make you cry a little bit. They make me cry a little bit. So I can definitely recommend. I will say straight up, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind is a graphic
My
novel.
obsession caused this great foulness, and it is shameful that I must rely upon you to set it right.
Hello, Red Raven. It's good to see you, darling. And yes, there is a new look about. I molted not that long ago. Have you ever tried to peel off your outer carapace while you're sick? It's a terrible combination. Worth it though. I think it turned out well. No, you know what? If there's something I'm actually really jealous of, like, humanity for, you guys never have to molt. Your guys' skin, like, if you guys gain weight or whatever, your skin expands. If you guys lose weight, your skin contracts. You don't have to, actually grow a new one and then break off the old one. It's a pain. Worse still, like, these scales, they have to grow in, right? They grow in before it's time to molt, but you feel itchy the whole time, the entire time. I've never been able to get it off in one piece. I've known some people who could do that when I was very young, and I was always so jealous of them. Scales need for neat armor, though. They're not bad. They're not bad. I prefer you not test them. I prefer you not test them. They do. I would prefer you not test them. They're, they are, somewhat more decorative than they might seem to be, but they're still relatively hard. I would happily, I wouldn't happily, if I had to take a blow from a weapon, I would probably rather go up against, like, a knife, or maybe a short sword. I don't want to see a mace, and I really don't want to see a gun, especially not an anti-materiel weapon. That's just, I'm going to gush everywhere. And not in the fun way, like you want. Interesting. Well, the newbie, how do you replace your scales if you don't molt? Do you shed them? Oh, that's like... I mercifully don't have to pull out my scales usually. Like, once they grow in, they're pretty well grown in, but if one grows in malformed, which has happened on occasion, or if it becomes damaged, I have to remove it to get another one to grow, and that's painful. So that's their secret. They constantly shed skin cells. I see. And Mothy, of course, is a fun way. Although for you, it might require more imagination. Speaking of which, have you managed to return to the lighthouse again? Yeah, No, to gush, not to get shot. Although I suppose euphemistically there's probably a fun way to get shot. B. Phenomenal. I cannot wait to hear from you. I will admit, I have missed seeing you around. As much as you normally are. Kill a Swine King. We do have people who go kill the Swine King. Let's do that. Yeah, we'll try for 3 bosses tonight. Red Eye, I don't know if you'd want this bacon. I guess there's one way to find out, though. Actually, why don't I give you the bonk? The dreaded bonk. Well, it's nice knowing. It's nice to be wanted, Mothy, thank you. You know what, laser tag is pretty fun. It's less fun when you have like twice the hittable area than most other people. But it's still good. Yeah. The holy bonk. Maybe extra limbs for extra weapons. You know, I am not. I'm actually not a. I actually took lessons in wielding weapons for a short period of time. Um, but because they were lessons that were relevant to the culture on the local planet, the local inhabited planet anyway, at least the local inhabited planet that you know about, um, they were, how can I put it? I never got to practice wielding multiple weapons. Well, truth be told, peace superior firepower. I'm not actually convinced that works, philosophically speaking. Like, it's cute, phrase-wise. And I do like it, but I'm not convinced that it works. That isn't peace, that's the quiet noise of everyone rearming. I've always wanted to do archery, but, I have been told repeatedly that I am not suited for it. Stop laughing, it's been for a lot of reasons, okay? But yeah, I was told I was not suited for archery. Well, thank you, darling. Alright, I don't have to bring any blood. We don't have any vampires. This is phenomenal.
My first attempts at summoning were crude, and the results disappointing. I soon found, however, that the type and condition of the host's meat was a critical factor. The best results came from pigs, whose flesh is most like that of man.
So, you made the pigmen.
A nameless abomination. A testament to my failures. It must be destroyed.
I actually really want to try dual wielding bows now. And Leishum, congratulations, darling. I can only imagine that Leyland would prefer cookies.
Now it must be carried home.
But that's my guess. Let me if I got it right, Leyland. I actually really want cookies now. I'm gonna make some of those oatmeal peanut butter and jam cookies were amazing. Yeah, that ham is very bad. I said you might not want it, didn't I?
Well struck.
Like, bacon is here, but I can't recommend it. When a ham goes bad. I don't think this is when a ham goes bad.
Disadvantage. Give them
Unless...
a quarter.
Do you think that's Mr. Shatner? Is this his revenge? After all those years?
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
He seems quite peaceable to me, Malty. I don't know how angry he is. Well, someone's already on the doom train. Wish you're gonna survive. It's called a hulking swine tour. I would appreciate if everyone just took this in for a minute. Red-eyed Raven, would you like a piece of that? I can probably arrange to get a flank kill for you. Oh, I have the healers in the wrong order.
A dizzying blow to body and brain.
This is winning gout. Agreed.
Such a terrible
Raven.
assault cannot be left unanswered.
Did I mess up? Are you supposed to be the mace? You were supposed to be the mace healer. Well, I'll have to change that in a minute. Drat. Oh well. It's a magnificent abomination. I will say that. Welcome back, Ares. I thought we were going to be absent you the rest of the evening. Let's see.
Soothed. Sedated.
I'm actually really relieved to hear that, Bobby. I have been somewhat nervous about asking you after that.
A faint
I was gonna
hope
wait until you
blossoms.
got back home. I'm glad it's gone okay. Maybe I should do a movie night some night.
The slow death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
Sometimes I wish I had hair. That seems fun. Is it fun? Is it as fun as it seems? I don't know. This thought occurred to me because I sent out a bird. I made a tweet. I tweeted out about Speed Racer. The Speed Racer movie, if you're familiar with that at all. Not the old animated one, I mean the newer one that the Wachowskis did in, I think, 2008. I would be down for a Columbo watch-along. He's the only perfect thing in this world. If live-action CGI one, it is honestly, and I know this sounds so strange, it's honestly one of my favorites. Like, it's one of my favorite movies. If you want to say that it's not good, don't worry, I'm not going to take offense. It's not a good movie, but it's nevertheless one of my favorites.
Size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
And goodness, Ares, that's a lot of hair. Did you think it was good, Mothy, or did you think it was entertaining? I I don't know, Red-Eyed Raven. The problem is that movies that fascinate me like that, I'm always fascinated because of how interesting they are, not because of how bad they are. Mothy says yes. A newbie, why don't you have to brush in the morning anymore? I'm, I'm asking basically because if there's like some weird secret, I'd kind of like to know. It might be able to apply to polishing. I clearly need to start getting some drones to do it for me. Is it? I'm sorry. Give me a moment, I'll do what I can for it. How was that? I think that might have fixed it. Not quite sure.
A moment of respite. A chance to steel oneself against the
I don't know if the
dark
Speed
horror.
Racer knows it's terrible, but it certainly embraces all the things that do make it terrible. Alright then. What did I do for this? I think that's what I did. Oh, Sharktopus. I think I saw a Sharktopus. I don't remember it, but I think it was terrible. You know what I should host? I should host a movie night with all of the old adult animated movies that I enjoy. Things like The Forbidden Planet and Gandahar. Things that I'm positive no one knows. That, yeah. That I'm probably the only person who enjoys. Oh, it wouldn't be on here. I'd do it via, I would do it via Discord. Do that for Halloween? Kandahar isn't really horror, but is the Forbidden Planet horror? It doesn't actually scare me. Oh, the bad horror movies. You know what I'm gonna do you know what I'll do for Halloween? If I do movies for Halloween. I'll do, the Addams Family movies. I love the Addams Family movies. Yes, and Heavy Metal. Heavy Metal is the worst movie, and it's amazing. Yeah. You've seen both, Red Raven? Yes. Oh, that's amazing. Those movies speak to me. I have been watching movies like that since I was a nymph. That's one companion, okay. You know what's weird is I can remember a race. First of all, I have three things to say. One, the facility I used to work at had, you know, basically upload stations on Earth. Like, we had drones down your world. Like, I've piloted them before, right? It's part of how we get a first-person perspective on, human life. But it's very easy to, use one to make an account and or to buy movies and then digitize them. Two, if you guys were afraid of being discovered by other life forms, I am here to tell you that, broadcasting data by, emissive energy around your planet that echoes out into space is not a good way of, remaining hidden. And also, it's really easy to tap into that. Number three, you appreciate that the internet has a satellite backbone, right? It's really easy to, just access the internet from space. And then there's tons of places to acquire things. I mean, as Xanalar said, there's ways. I'm lucky. I'm lucky though, in that the way you appreciate that I worked at a facility that's in your system.
The light.
A
The
race.
promise of safety.
The ob station was in high orbit. It's not far. But you realize that okay, let me explain something. Part about being a Vegator, I am now, yes, although I'm not in the ob station anymore, but that's a different, never mind, that's a different story. But when you become a Vegator, when you're selected to be a Vegator, okay, no, that's not that issue. Let me explain. When you're selected to be a Vegator, part of one of several things happen. One of what happens is that you
In radiance, may we find
you have a
victory.
language selected for you, and you have a culture selected
To the
for you.
onslaught. Destroy them
And
all.
the only way you can actually understand someone's culture is to actually internalize it. The only way you can speak a language is to understand the culture of those who speak a language. Otherwise, things in that language won't make sense to you, right? So, when you're selected to become a Vegator, you can ask if you want to, but you're selected at I don't know age 8, somewhere between ages 7 and 12 is when you're selected. Okay, look, celestial orbits are different. I'm trying to transmit, right? Trying to translate. So when that happens, you get separated from your family after a couple years, and you're put on a ship to an academy outside of the system that you're going to be a Vegator in. You spend time studying at the academy, and then you're shipped off properly in system for your assignment. You're at the academy, your transmissions were a year out of date ish, right? Maybe a little less.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
I talked about this. I've talked about this before. And yes, we actually do have our own programming. I don't remember much of it because I was a kid, right?
Back to the pit.
I mean, I wasn't a kid, I was a larva. And then I was a pupa, and I was very briefly a nymph. But suffice to say, I wasn't that old. So I didn't really see a lot of quality programming. I have seen more of it. Old stuff, because as Xanalar said, we do have our own stuff, it's just most of it's pre-recorded at this point. I don't really get the new stuff. Yeah. Getting back, Forbidden Planet was one of my favorite films. Because because we tried to emulate your culture as hard as possible, it was classified as a a children's movie by all of you down there. And my only question is,
A
what
blazing star is
the
born.
fuck were you thinking?
It
Uh-uh.
is a travesty.
Red Raven,
A blundering mountain of hatred and
there.
rage.
There is the pork you were so interested in. We are going to carve it up, but I will not offer you a piece. I feel like that would be mean. Mobius-style sci-fi? No. That's not why. It was put there because it was animated, as far as I can tell.
A devastating blow.
What is Mobius? That sounds familiar, but I don't... I'm having a time recalling what that is. Yeah. Forbidden Planet was never a children's show.
Ringing ears. Blurred vision. The end approaches.
I have not seen that. If you can believe, I have actually never seen that. I completely messed up my entire loadout for this. Should be fine, I think, I hope. Maybe I will watch that. Maybe I will watch Morbin Time for Halloween. Oh, like the Mobius the person. I see. I need to look into this documentary. I actually really enjoy documentaries. It wasn't a Spider-Man movie, as far as I know. I could be wrong, though. Cole, I'm sorry you're lagging. Oh, I meant to ask, is the sound better? I tried something else on it. Yeah, I don't like the term obliterate body. Oh, good. I wonder why it's doing that. Don't get your hopes up, a newbie. Just like so many things when humans invent, like, what you think ought to be an incredible, crazy concept, it's not. It's actually just someone who can shoot webs out of their hands. It spinnerets in entirely the wrong place, and I don't even know why. Driders are very cool. I like Driders. They make me feel less alien. More accepted. Although, I will admit I do only have 2 legs. I wouldn't mind more legs. And it is a newbie. It's unfortunately anticlimactic. I actually really like the Spider-Man films. Again, I don't think they're good. I mean the old ones, not the new ones. And, okay, bit of a stretch, hang on. There we go. I have a weakness for superhero movies, though. I'm not sure why. I don't really think they're that good as, like, movie pieces. But, you know, a couple of them were great, though. I don't actually know if they are or not. A newbie, Reese's description is, I think, the best one I've ever heard for Spider-Man. $11. Okay, I can still do this.
Unnerved.
Oh, goodness.
Unbalanced.
Alright, I think I will try and do some sort of movie night as like a subs reward thing. I don't know how to track it yet. But I will. I'll have to whip the hide into shape too. I've been meaning to get an overhaul done to it. You know what was a good superhero movie? The first Iron Man. That was actually a solid movie. Good story, nice character arcs, and it nicely set up and paid off a few small things. Was good. Iron Man 2 should have been like 3 separate movies, and was not very good. And Iron Man 3 was a catastrophe. You know, popcorn is something else that I miss strongly. I think like, I'll be honest, I think I've watched most of my superhero movies while playing Skyrim or something. And I don't think they have to be
Wounds of
deep,
war can be healed,
but there's a difference between not being
but
deep
never hidden.
and not being a very good movie. I think I don't remember most superhero movies. I think my favorite ones so far have honestly, actually, been the Doctor Strange movies because they're so absurd and they're so absurdly like, and fair dues to, to Benedict Cumberpuzzle, right? But, like, they just aren't good stories. The Tobey Maguire are not my favorite Spider-Mans. My favorite Spider-Mans are actually the one from the actor that I can't even remember. It was the one before the current one.
A decisive
Does anyone know who Spinnerminch? Was that actually the actor's name, Spinnerminch? I hope it was. Why would you crush my hopes and dreams like this, Sandlot? Wait, his name is Spinnerminch? That's awesome. No, but Reese, if I was watching these movies if I was watching a movie because it was good, I don't think I'd be watching superhero movies. Also, yeah, Spinnerminch is just excellent. Spinnerminch. Spinnerminch. I think we are all. I think there's a little bit of Spinnerminch in everyone. Isn't Batman saying in German something like Spinnermusminch?
Precision and power.
Isn't it something like that? That's so amazing.
How many rats will it take to gnaw through a ton of putrid flesh?
That's a horrifying question, Ancestor. I would not like anyone to answer that. Please, no one start trying to calculate that out right now. I don't want to know. Like, I really don't want to know. At all, even.
Ghoulish horrors, brought low and driven into the mud.
Let me think. Actually, my favorite superhero show came out at that time. Ah, so the pig caused the lag. Mothy, why would you force this information on me? Why would you make me have to live with this knowledge? And, oh, Reese, I have to disagree with you here. Like, I absolutely have to disagree with you. Superman, Man of Steel, has been one of the most entertaining movies I have seen in a while. It is a travesty of cinematography, and I am here for it. TMNT likely too, as Turtle is Shield Critter. That's amazing. I love it. Oh, rank 5, they have these little emblems on their things. That's kind of nifty. Basically, that's what I'm saying. I don't know that it's good, but I do like it.
A ray of sunlight, a beacon of golden hope.
Oh, that's nice. I think that superheroes can be serious, but I agree that, like, it's an inherently goofy concept, right? So you have to allow it to be whimsical and fantastical. I honestly think that's part of why I like the first Iron Man and Black Panther so much, is because they don't try to hide the fact that this is a kind of a goofy concept. Yeah, Batman TAS is probably my favorite superhero-related media that is like moving. Like, my favorite, like, watchable superhero media is probably Batman the Animated Series. It struck the perfect tone between serious and absolutely hilariously dumb. It took what it was doing seriously, but it did not take itself seriously. I will admit, I liked almost none of the rest of the other 90s DCAU. Mostly, and I will admit this, mostly because I didn't like the art style. It's the same, it's part of why I don't like Batman TAS Season 4. The other part of why I don't like Season 4 is because I don't think it's as good as the first 3. I could never get into the Superman TAS. Now what I will say is that the Justice League and the Justice League Unlimited, for me, those overcame my dislike of the animation style. And it felt relatively appropriate to what it was doing, so, like, the Justice League was... I think the Justice League was a close... what was second to Batman, but still good. It is my personal third choice. I didn't like it as much, but I am going to absolutely say that it is better than my second favorite, which was Batman Beyond. JLU was amazing, yeah. Hawkwoman is your spirit animal. I liked Hawkwoman a lot. I'm honestly disappointed that more versions of the Justice League don't use a Hawkwoman. I will admit I can't talk about the person that I always identified with because you all are going to make a thing out of it if I do. Nope, that's it. I will never say the person I identified with in Justice League. That's it. We're moving on. I liked Batman Beyond so much because it was, I just liked the future version of the city. Yeah, if you really want to know, there's a redeem for it. But yeah, Red Raven, I don't even want to mention it. Like, I don't even want to say. Like, I can't even address that comment, because if I do, it's gonna give him. I do like some modern superhero stuff too. It's animated in the DCAU. I think I'm a pretty big fan actually of Young Justice. Like, it's not for everyone, and I'm not gonna say it's like the best thing ever, but it is like mostly solid. It's like a solid B, and that's pretty good. I haven't been as keen on some of its newer seasons. I feel like they've kind of gotten a bit more sluggish, but yeah. Teen Titans Go was designed for a single specific market and fulfills that role to perfection. It was not meant for people like over the age of like 10 to engage with it. It's why you probably can't engage with it that a lot. What I don't understand is why they kind of felt the need to reuse something that had a lot of nostalgia for people from, their own nymph stages. Well, I see how you feel about it. Teen Titans Go. Does it though? Does it? I have to wonder if that's not in there, because they know that comic book nerds will watch any damn thing that has the superheroes in it, whether they like it or not. So I think it's hitting its two target demographics perfectly: young children and hardcore comic book nerds. Because I have not seen, but that still means that they'll, watch the show, see the ads, boost the viewership numbers, maybe even buy some of the merch. Alright, we have to get the younger one. Obviously playing into the writer's hands. Well, can you blame anyone for playing into anyone else's hands? I mean, if you give me the option to play into your hands, I might take you up on that. It's just a fun thing to do, really. But still, though, yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll set up some Discord get-together night. as milestones for some sub stuff. And I will be sure to let everyone know. Don't worry though, it won't be like exclusive, right? The only thing you need is to be one of my precious hivelings, and then you can come. That's all. Meantime, I think this is where I'm going to pause for the evening. I've had a lot of fun. I hope you all have had a wonderful time. No, I have. I'm going to go turn you over to the hands of some strange man from beyond the veil. Doing another sideways two-dimensional game. But I'm so glad I got to see all of you. I want you all to take great care of yourselves and go with all my love. And when you arrive in Elamagel's chat, get her all over it for me and tell him I sent you. Until then, good night, everyone. I'll see you soon.